Hi. uh, what's up, guys? Um, it's been a while, huh? Yeah, maybe like 6 or 7 months. Yeah, sounds about right. Um, well, Lauren recently made a video about like what happens, I guess, for our breakup. Which she's right. I guess we had a lot of loyal. Sorry, guys, I'm in bed about to go to sleep because it's 9:30 and everybody knows how Jessica doesn't stay up late. But we had a lot of loyal fans, I guess, and friends that looked out for us and were always there for us on Tumblr, and I guess you guys do deserve an explanation for the fact that, or for like everything that went down. Well, Lauren gave her side, and I figured it's only fair to get my side in there, even though she did represent it very well, my side at least. But there are a couple minor things that were not right. So I'm just gonna, and it's not because like she messed it up on purpose, but it's just because she didn't know fully or like remember something, I don't know. So Lauren and I dated for like 7 months or whatever, and through that entire relationship, like, I don't even know, it was crazy. Like, it was just us constantly hurting each other, to be honest. Like, that's pretty much all it was. Even though we did love each other and we did have good moments, it would just be like Paige would show up and kiss Lauren, and I would get all pissed off and start flirting with this person, and then Janie would tell Lauren that she loves her, and so I would go do this, and Lauren wouldn't break up with Nick, so I would do this. Like, it was just a chain reaction, kind of. Like, Lauren would do something, causing me to do something, and then her to do something back. So it was just us constantly hurting each other. We did love each other a lot, and I still love her a lot. And, but anyway, we're not going to talk about that right now. The breakup was definitely very sudden. I'll admit that. That's my fault. Sorry, I got my sleepy voice going on. David was this guy that I met, not this past summer, but the summer before that. And he went to my old school and graduated a couple years before I did, and we got to know each other a lot, and it turned out, like, we didn't end up dating, but I really wanted to. Like, I really wanted a relationship with him, but he didn't. But he came over every morning in the summertime because my mom had to go to work, and it was just my best friend and I, and so he would come over every morning, and we would lay in bed and snuggle until I had to go to summer school because I messed around my sophomore year in math, and so I had to go to summer school for a couple weeks to make that up. But so he would come over in the morning and snuggle with me, and then he would take me to school before he had to go to work. And then, like, I'm not really sure what happened. I guess, like, whenever school started back up, we kind of drifted apart because he didn't go to school anymore. He had a job and his own friends. I think he was like 19 at the time. He's 20 now. Yeah. He just turned 20. And so we kind of drifted apart, and then we kind of ended up, he moved to Oklahoma because of his work. And then his things kind of fell through with that, I guess. And I was really sad that he left to go to Oklahoma because I still really wanted to be in a relationship with him. But then he came back. And the night he came back, he called me, and I just happened to be on the west side of town hanging out with some friends. And so I went over and saw him because I missed him. And things kind of escalated just a little bit. Like, I told him I was in a relationship, that I couldn't have anything to do with him other than friends, and that he needed to stop trying to kiss me and stuff like that. And then, like, he caught me off guard and he kissed me, and I guess I just didn't stop. And at that moment, I realized that my feelings were completely compromised, and that it wouldn't be fair to Lauren for her to constantly second guess if I actually loved her, and that if I actually wanted to be in a relationship with her, because my feelings were compromised, because that's how I would feel if I was in a relationship with, like, in that situation, except flipped. So I broke up with Lauren that night. I did not tell her the truth, and that's where I think I might have gone wrong. I did tell her a little bit of the truth, but not the whole truth. I told her it was because I didn't think she was ready to be in a relationship with a girl, because she wasn't even ready to tell her friends. And it sucked constantly having to hide. And she came to my house that night. I went on a date with David right after I broke up with her. And he ended up taking my phone and shutting it off, because she kept calling me and calling me and calling me, and he kept getting really pissed off about it. And so he ended up taking me home after our date, which was really nice. And she showed up at my house 5 minutes after he dropped me off and would not leave. I commend her persistence. She would not leave. And she was standing outside my window, and it was a thunderstorm getting ready to happen. Like, there was cloud ground lightning, and I live, like, right next to a pond. Like, there's a pond in my backyard. And so I kept trying to convince her to leave because she was going to get struck by lightning. And she kept saying that she didn't care, that she wanted to talk about it, and she didn't want it to end because she loved me so much. And I just kind of blew her off. Like, she was begging Abby to let her inside so that we could talk. And Abby was just so conflicted. And I ended up just shutting the window and telling her to go home because I didn't want to see her. And ever since then, like, after that, I went on my trip, my 2-week-long trip, to Canada, New York, and the other side of the country, the whole, like, East Coast. And I kind of forgot about everything and kind of took my mind off things. And then when I came back, I realized that Abby had been going out to lunch with Lauren all the time and hanging out with Lauren, and I didn't really understand why, because girl code, kind of, like, just because I was bisexual and I dated a girl, it didn't mean that rules changed. But Abby's kind of always lived outside of those rules. So it really did tick me off that I didn't say anything, because I can't control them. I can't tell them who and who not to hang out with. And so I did not totally say anything. I did pack up all of Lauren's stuff, like stuffed animals. I did keep one, the one that she first gave me for our first Christmas, because I can't sleep without him at all anymore. I sleep with him every single night. But I gave all of her stuffed animals back. I gave all of her jewelry, all of her shirts, everything. I gave everything back. And I put it in a box and gave it to Abby, because Abby was going out to lunch with her. And I gave it to Abby and told Abby to give it to her because I didn't want to see her. And so Abby did, and Lauren got all pissed off, and her friend started texting me. Actually, not her friend, Kristen started texting me and bitching at me because I'm a shitty girlfriend or whatever. And I was just like, Kristen, this isn't your business. You need to stay out of it, because Kristen has a habit of getting involved in other people's things. But Kristen ended up, not just Kristen, pretty much all of our friends sided with Lauren after the breakup, which isn't a big deal because I ripped Lauren's heart out and I feel very bad about it. And I kind of deserve not having any friends, but it's not a big deal. It's whatever. But after that, Lauren and I didn't talk at all unless it was to yell at each other about something that the other person did. She always would ask me why I hated her so much, because it didn't make sense to her. Because I was the one that broke up with her, why should I hate her? And she didn't really understand until recently when I sat down and explained it to her that it wasn't the fact that I hated her so much, it was the fact that I hated myself because I hurt her so badly. And I couldn't stand to look at her at all because I hated myself so much that I couldn't be around her. I couldn't even hear her name without getting pissed off and angry at myself. So, which sounds really stupid, and you guys are probably like, why the fuck did you break up with her then? And the honest to God reason is, I don't know, because I was just stupid the entire time. I was just a fucking idiot, and I admit that. David ended up being completely nothing. He ended up just being a total asshole. The day after my trip, he came over, and we were at Abby's aunt's birthday party, and I was telling him that I didn't want to have sex with him because I don't plan on having relationships and stuff like that. And he was like, oh yeah, whenever Grace took my virginity, it killed me whenever she left, so I would never do that to you. Yeah, that same night he came over and took my virginity. So that ended up being interesting. We had a friends with benefits relationship for a while after that, but then he went off to the Navy on September 20-something. So, but then he came back. And he's in town right now. He came back a month and a half later, I guess, and he wants to see me, but I don't really want to see him. I pretty much cut off all contact with, right after Lauren and I broke up, I just kept myself busy with guys and having sex and not thinking about her. But now, I don't really talk to anybody anymore. There's one girl that's hanging around, kind of, but our first date, I told her, I don't want a relationship with anybody, I just want friendship. I just want to meet new people. And she's like, oh yeah, me too, and now I think she's thinking something a little different, and so I've kind of been avoiding her a little bit. This video is probably going to be completely pointless because I'm pretty sure I don't even remember the YouTube password. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Lauren's dating Sarah Jane now. She's all happy, and I'm single, thank God. But I do miss Lauren a lot. And, there are those late at night moments when it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're really lonely because you just got done singing Breaking Dawn. And you heard that 1,000 Years song by Christina Perry, and you're just like, I'm so alone. But you get through it. It's not a big deal. I mean, that's what family's for, right? But yeah, so I got a new Tumblr. It's something. Hang on, and I'll look it up for you. I got it mostly because I needed a way to express myself without people getting all up in my business. And I've only got 13 followers compared to my 600 last time. And which kind of sucks. So feel free to come and follow me again, you guys. Because I would really love to get to know you guys again. Just because Lauren and I broke up doesn't mean that we all can't be friends anymore. It's called life dash or hyphen. Life hyphen is hyphen full hyphen of hyphen new beginnings is one word. .tumblr.com. And that's me on there. It's all my awesome glory. So, yep. If you guys have any questions, feel free to, hit me up in the ask box. I still have my iPhone so I can answer them in the middle of class because I get bored. So, okay.